US special operators just executed a strike so precise, the target was obliterated before anyone inside knew they were being watched. What happens when elite forces infiltrate enemy territory, mark a target with invisible lasers, and call down destruction that arrives in seconds? And how do these teams operate in complete darkness, painting targets for weapons traveling at supersonic speeds while surrounded by hostile forces? Join us as we reveal the technology and tactics that make special operations the deadliest force on the battlefield. Section 1. The Invisible Hunters. Special Operations Forces represent the most elite military units in the world, trained to execute missions that conventional forces cannot attempt. These operators work in small teams, often just 6 to 12 personnel, conducting reconnaissance, direct action raids, and precision strikes deep behind enemy lines. Their ability to remain undetected while gathering intelligence and directing devastating firepower makes them force multipliers worth entire battalions of conventional troops. The technology they carry has evolved dramatically from the Vietnam War era when lasers first appeared on battlefields. Early laser designators were bulky, unreliable devices used primarily to guide bombs to bridges and bunkers. Modern targeting systems are compact, ruggedized units that fit in backpacks, allowing operators to paint multiple targets simultaneously while remaining mobile and concealed. The AN/PEQ-1 SOFLAM, or Special Operations Forces Laser Acquisition Marker, represents current state-of-the-art targeting technology. Weighing just 30 pounds including battery packs, this system can designate targets at ranges exceeding 10 kilometers. The infrared laser beam is completely invisible to the naked eye, but appears as a brilliant point of light through night vision devices used by aircraft pilots and weapons seekers. Operators position themselves with clear line of sight to targets, typically on elevated terrain or rooftops that provide unobstructed views. They establish hide sites, camouflaged positions where they can observe targets for hours or days while remaining undetected. These positions require meticulous selection, considering fields of fire, concealment from enemy observation, and escape routes if compromise occurs. The targeting process begins with reconnaissance. Operators infiltrate the target area days before the strike, establishing surveillance positions and confirming target locations. They photograph buildings, document guard patterns, identify high-value individuals, and map surrounding structures to assess collateral damage risks. This intelligence feeds into strike planning, ensuring precision and minimizing civilian casualties. When the strike is authorized, operators activate their laser designators. The invisible beam marks the exact impact point, often a specific window, door, or structural weakness that maximizes destructive effect. The laser pulses encoded patterns that weapon systems recognize, preventing enemy forces from spoofing the signal or directing munitions toward false targets. Aircraft orbiting miles away receive the laser designation through sophisticated sensors mounted in targeting pods beneath their wings or fuselages. These pods detect the reflected laser energy and calculate precise coordinates. Pilots don't need to see the target visually. The targeting system guides weapons automatically, allowing strikes through clouds, smoke, or darkness when visual identification would be impossible. The time from laser activation to weapon impact can be as short as 30 seconds for aircraft already on station with weapons ready. Laser-guided bombs or missiles follow the reflected laser energy to the designated point, making terminal corrections during their final seconds of flight. The accuracy is extraordinary, with weapons regularly impacting within meters of the laser spot even when released from altitudes exceeding 20,000 feet. This precision allows strikes on targets in urban environments where collateral damage must be minimized. A warehouse storing weapons can be destroyed while adjacent civilian structures remain untouched. The building's occupants may have no warning, continuing their activities until the weapon arrives. By the time they hear the incoming munition, it's already too late to react or escape. Section 2. The weapons they summon. The munitions delivered to laser-designated targets represent decades of development in precision-guided warfare. Unlike unguided bombs that scatter based on release parameters and wind conditions, laser-guided weapons adjust their flight path continuously, steering toward the laser spot with remarkable accuracy. The GBU-12 Paveway 2 laser-guided bomb is among the most commonly used precision weapons. Based on the standard 500-pound Mark 82 bomb, it adds a guidance kit that transforms a dumb weapon into a smart one. The kit includes laser seeker in the nose and control fins that adjust during flight. Total weight is approximately 700 pounds, with 192 pounds of high explosives in the warhead. When released, the GBU-12 glides toward the target using its seeker to track the reflected laser energy. The weapon can maneuver significantly during flight, correcting for winds and improving accuracy compared to unguided bombs. Circular error probable. The radius within which 50% of weapons impact is typically under 10 feet for laser-guided munitions compared to hundreds of feet for unguided bombs. For harder targets requiring deeper penetration, the GBU-24 Paveway 3 uses a 2,000-pound warhead. This weapon can punch through reinforced concrete before detonating inside, collapsing structures from within. The larger warhead creates more extensive damage, capable of destroying large warehouses or command bunkers in single strikes. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile provides precision strike capability from helicopters, drones, and fixed-wing aircraft. Originally designed for anti-tank warfare, Hellfire variants now include thermobaric warheads for use against buildings and personnel. The missile weighs approximately 100 pounds with a 20-pound warhead, allowing aircraft to carry multiple weapons for engaging several targets per sortie. Hellfire's laser guidance system operates identically to guided bombs, tracking reflected laser energy from ground-based designators or aircraft-mounted targeting pods. The missile's smaller size compared to 500-pound bombs allows more surgical strikes with reduced collateral damage. This makes Hellfire ideal for urban environments or targets near friendly forces where larger weapons would pose unacceptable risks. The newer Joint Direct Attack munition adds GPS guidance to conventional bombs, allowing all-weather precision strikes when laser designation isn't possible. JDAM kits can be fitted to bombs ranging from 500 to 2,000 pounds, giving planners flexibility in matching weapon effects to target characteristics. While GPS-guided weapons lack the terminal precision of laser-guided munitions, they're accurate enough for most targets and don't require continuous laser illumination. Strike aircraft carrying these weapons orbit at holding points miles from targets, ready to respond when operators call for fire support. F-15E Strike Eagles, F-16 Fighting Falcons, and a 10 Thunderbolt II are configured with mixed loadouts, carrying multiple weapon types to engage various target sets. Pilots coordinate with Special Operations Forces through secure radio channels, receiving target coordinates and attack parameters. The typical sequence begins with operators confirming they're in position and have clear laser designation on the target. Pilots acknowledge and begin their attack runs, approaching from directions that optimize weapon trajectory and minimize exposure to air defenses. As aircraft enter weapons release range, operators activate their laser designators, ensuring continuous illumination until weapons impact. Section 3. The mission unfolds. A typical precision strike mission against a cartel warehouse demonstrates how these technologies and tactics integrate into seamless operations. Intelligence identifies a facility storing precursor chemicals used in fentanyl production located in rural Mexico, approximately 200 miles from the border. Satellite imagery confirms the warehouse dimensions, surrounding structures, and approach routes. A 6-man special operations team inserts via helicopter under cover of darkness, landing 10 kilometers from the target. They move on foot through mountainous terrain, carrying weapons, targeting equipment, communications gear, and supplies for 72 hours of independent operations. The trek to their observation position takes 6 hours, moving slowly to avoid detection and minimize noise. The team establishes a hide site on a ridge overlooking the target warehouse 3,000 meters distant. They use camouflage netting and natural vegetation to conceal their position, creating a surveillance post that's virtually invisible even from 100 meters away. 2 operators maintain constant observation while others rest, rotating shifts to prevent fatigue during the extended mission. Over 48 hours, the team documents activity patterns. They observe vehicles arriving with shipments, count personnel entering and exiting, identify leadership figures, and note guard rotations. This intelligence confirms the warehouse is actively producing drugs and provides timing information for the strike. They want to hit when maximum personnel and product are present, inflicting maximum damage to cartel operations. On the third night, strike authorization comes through encrypted satellite communications. The team leader confirms they have clear observation, favorable weather, and can maintain laser designation throughout the attack. He coordinates with the airborne strike package, 2 F-15E Strike Eagles orbiting 50 miles away at 25,000 feet, each carrying 4 GBU-12 laser-guided bombs. At the designated time, the operator manning the SOFLAM activates the laser designator, painting the warehouse's main entrance. The invisible infrared beam reflects off the building, creating a basket of laser energy that weapons systems can detect. The lead F-15E pilot confirms laser acquisition, his targeting pod locking onto the reflected energy and feeding coordinates to the weapon systems. The pilot releases the first GBU-12, which falls away from the aircraft and begins its terminal guidance phase. The bomb seeker tracks the laser spot, making continuous corrections as it glides toward the target. 32 seconds after release, the 500-pound weapon impacts directly on the marked point. The warehouse entrance explodes inward as 192 pounds of high explosives detonate, the blast wave propagating through the building's interior. Before anyone inside can react, the second bomb impacts 3 seconds later, striking the building's center. The combined explosions collapse the roof structure and ignite stored chemicals. Secondary explosions follow as volatile precursor compounds detonate in sympathetic reactions. Within seconds, the entire warehouse is engulfed in flames, smoke billowing hundreds of feet into the night sky. Section 4. The future of precision warfare. The integration of special operations forces with precision-guided munitions represents one of modern warfare's most effective tactics. This combination allows small teams to generate disproportionate combat effects, destroying high-value targets while minimizing friendly casualties and collateral damage. As technology advances, these capabilities are becoming even more lethal and precise. Laser weapons now joining the battlefield offer revolutionary capabilities. Unlike bombs and missiles that take seconds or minutes to reach targets, laser systems engage at the speed of light. High energy. Laser weapons mounted on aircraft can burn through targets almost instantaneously, providing special operators with direct fire support that arrives with zero delay. The MQ-9 B-Sky Guardian drone, equipped with a 25-kilowatt laser system, demonstrates this technology's potential. Special operators on the ground could designate targets not just for conventional weapons, but for laser strikes from orbiting drones. The laser would burn through the target within seconds, disabling vehicles, destroying drones, or igniting fuel and ammunition stores without creating the massive explosions associated with bombs. This technology offers significant advantages in environments where explosive weapons pose collateral damage risks. A laser can disable a specific vehicle in a convoy without harming adjacent civilians. It can destroy drones without creating blast waves that damage nearby structures. And because lasers don't have finite ammunition, they can engage multiple targets during single sorties, making them ideal for countering swarms of cheap drones that overwhelm traditional air defenses. The United Kingdom's Dragonfire laser system shows similar promise, successfully destroying 30 drones during testing. These systems fire at costs equivalent to running a household heater, making them economically sustainable for widespread deployment. As power levels increase toward 300 kilowatts, these weapons will become capable of engaging larger threats, including missiles and manned aircraft. Integration with special operations will transform how precision strikes occur. Currently, operators must maintain laser designation for 30 to 60 seconds while weapons fly toward targets. High-energy lasers eliminate this requirement, engaging targets within seconds of designation. This dramatically reduces operator exposure time, allowing them to strike and immediately reposition before enemies can locate their positions. Artificial intelligence is also revolutionizing precision warfare. AI-enabled targeting systems can process vast amounts of sensor data, identifying targets faster than human operators. They can predict enemy movements, calculate optimal strike times, and even select weapons based on target characteristics. Special operators will increasingly serve as mission commanders who authorize strikes rather than manually guiding individual weapons. US Special Operations Forces can infiltrate enemy territory, mark targets with invisible lasers, and summon precision strikes that obliterate warehouses before alarms sound. These elite teams operate in complete darkness, directing weapons that impact with surgical accuracy while surrounded by hostile forces. The question is, as laser weapons and artificial intelligence transform precision warfare, will special operators become even more lethal? Or will adversaries develop countermeasures that negate these technological advantages? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more coverage of tactics and technology that define modern warfare, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.